Following President Donald Trump's return to the White House, the U.S. has imposed its first sanctions on Iran. According to Arab media, the U.S. Treasury Department has targeted Iran's oil network, imposing new sanctions on individuals, ships, and firms linked to companies already under previous restrictions. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated, "Iran is spending its oil revenue on its nuclear program, ballistic missiles, and drones, as well as providing financial support to terrorist groups." He further added, "Strict measures will be taken to stop the funding of illegal activities." On the other hand, Iran has rejected these sanctions, calling them maritime piracy and warning that such actions could further escalate tensions in the region. These fresh sanctions signal yet another phase of strain in the already tense U.S.-Iran relations. Tensions rise between Iran and the U.S. Ayatollah Khamenei's strong response. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has declared that negotiations with the U.S. are futile, stating, "We made concessions in the past, but the U.S. broke the agreement. There's no question of bowing down any further." He warned that if the U.S. threatens Iran's security, Iran will threaten America's security in return. This statement comes at a time when the U.S. has imposed new sanctions on Iran following the return of President Donald Trump to the White House. The U.S. Treasury Department has targeted Iran's oil network, including companies, ships, and individuals already under sanctions. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent alleged that Iran is using its oil revenue to fund its nuclear program, ballistic missiles, and support for terrorist groups. He stated, "Strict measures will be taken to stop the funding of illegal activities." This new development could further complicate the already tense situation between the two nations. U.S. President Donald Trump has decided to impose sanctions on the International Criminal Court, ICC. According to the White House, President Trump will sign the executive order today, placing these sanctions in response to the ICC's actions against the U.S., Israel, and its allies. According to news agencies, the sanctions will target ICC investigation staff and their families, imposing financial and visa restrictions on them. It's worth noting that last year, the ICC issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other individuals, which triggered strong reactions from the U.S. In another surprising announcement, President Trump stated, "According to my plan, after the end of the war, the Gaza Strip will be handed over to the U.S. through Israel." In a social media statement, Trump mentioned that the U.S. will begin the reconstruction of Gaza carefully and thoughtfully, claiming this project will become one of the greatest and most remarkable development initiatives in the world. He further stated, "The U.S. will not need any military presence in Gaza," adding that America will work with global development teams to help secure a better future for Gaza. These announcements are not only causing a stir on the international stage, but could also reshape the political landscape of the region. Mass displacement after Gaza. Ceasefire, UN relief efforts underway. The United Nations has reported that following the ceasefire, over 500,000 people have returned from southern Gaza to the northern regions. Additionally, more than 10,000 aid trucks have arrived to support the affected population. The UN's Coordinator for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief, Tom Fletcher, stated that large quantities of tents, food, and medicines are being provided to the war-torn people of Gaza. According to UNICEF, there is still a critical need for water, sanitation, medical supplies, tents, and food in Gaza, as most of the returning individuals have found their homes completely destroyed. The World Health Organization, WHO, has confirmed that 63 trucks carrying medical supplies have reached Gaza, helping to restock 3 previously emptied warehouses. The UN's Coordination Office reported that after the ceasefire, over 100 sick and injured individuals have been transferred to Egypt for treatment. Additionally, 5 ambulances have been deployed in Gaza for emergency assistance, and 22 bakeries are now operational to help meet food demands. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has emphasized the need for a permanent ceasefire and the release of all hostages, firmly rejecting any proposals to relocate Gaza's population elsewhere.